Good morning, guys. So today we shall see state reduction and state assignment. So last class we saw how you are analyzing a given circuit. So with respect to that, we wrote the state equation. Then we move ahead with writing the state table, and then we draw the state diagram from it. So today we shall see how you could reduce states and how you can assign values for the states. So I was mentioning the other day, if you are going to have n flip-flops, there is maximum possibility of having 2 per n states, right? So we shall see how you can reduce if you are given with a state table, if there is a possibility to reduce the number of states, what will be the effect and all those. So we have to understand state reduction and state assignment. So the first thing, as I was saying, is this is used to reduce the number of gates and flip-flops used during the design. Okay, va? So by reducing the states, automatically there is a possibility of reducing the number of flip-flops required in the circuit, and thereby maybe some other additional gates that you use can also get reduced. So that's the reason for seeing this state reduction. So when we are going or when we are doing the state reduction, we will see to that the input output relation does not change. That is actually the key point here. When you are trying to reduce the number of states, you are not supposed to change any of the input output relation. That is to be maintained as such. So we shall see that. So here you are given with the state diagram. So now what we shall do is, first from the given state diagram, we shall write the state table for this. Okay. So here you are having states A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So we shall write the state table for this. So the state table. So first we denote the present state. Then yesterday I was mentioning about the other format of writing the state table, where you consider both the inputs given a present state. For input x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1, what is my next state? And similarly, what is the output given the input is 0 and 1? This is what we are going to write. Okay, so here let us start from state A. So considering this state A, here this self loop implies 0 bar 0. That is, this 0 corresponds to the input and this 0 corresponds to the output. So for present state A, when input is 0, I am remaining in the same next state. So I give A over here and the output is 0. So I write it here. Okay. Then as I analyze, I see that from A we are having another arrow. This shows 1/0. So this first one is the input. So for input 1, I am moving to a new state B. So I write B over here and the output value is 0. Do you understand how I am writing this?
Yes, ma'am.
So the same way we are going to write for all these states. Okay. So for present state B, so here you can see two arrows going out. So here the first one shows the input is 0. So at that time it is going to state C, and when the first value is 1, the input is 1, it is going to state D. So this is C and this is D. The output in both the cases are 0. So 0, 0. Next with C, we can see the two arrows going to A and D. So this shows this is 0, 0, which implies the input is 0 means I am going to state A, the output is 0, and when input is 1, I am going to state D and the output is 0. Okay. Next with state D, so when input is 0, I am going to state E and the output is 0. And when input is 1, I am going to state F and the output is 1 as we have 1 bar 1. Next with state E, so for input 0, I am going to state A and the output is 0. And when the input is 1, I am going to state F and the output is 1. Okay. And next for F, we have when input is 0, I am moving to state G and the output value is 0. And when input is 1, I am remaining in the same state. So this is F and the output is 1. Then from state G, when the input is 0, I am moving to state A and the output is 0. And when the input is 1, I am coming back to state F and the output is 1. Okay, so we have returned the state table for all these cases. Now we are going to see whether we have the possibility of reducing the number of states in it. Okay, so we say two states to be equivalent. Two states are said to be equivalent when for given input conditions both the states have same output and next state. Okay. So you can say two states to be equivalent if they have same next state and output for the given input condition. So here in this you can start comparing. So as I start comparing, I can see this state E and state G. Okay, both of them are having the same output and next state values for the given input conditions, right? For x is equal to 0, both the state are having the same next state, and for x is equal to 1, similarly both are having the same next state. The same way the output also is same for the case. So here you can say that state E is equivalent to state G. So what we do is we remove one of the state from this and replace state G. Wherever you had G, you can replace it with E. Okay, va? So here you are having E to be equivalent to G. So remove any one of it. You can remove E or G. Okay, as G is the higher alphabet, I am removing that. That is the only thing. Otherwise, you can have anyway. Remove G and replace G with E in other places. That is, if you have any, you have to replace it. Okay, va? So I am going to remove state G. I remove this totally from the table. And do I have a G anywhere? So here we are having G. So I replace this with E. Okay. Now we again compare. So now again comparing, we can see that these two, that is D and F. These two are equivalent, right? As both are having states E and F as the next state and 0 and 1 as the next state for x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1 respectively. So we have D is equivalent to F. So now what we do is remove F and replace F with D in other places. Okay. So I am going to remove this, and wherever I have F, I am going to replace it with D. So this is replaced with D and this is replaced with D. Now you can again compare. So here again, as you compare, you can see that this C and E are having actually same next state. However, for input x is equal to 1, the output with present state C is equal to 1 is 0 and E is 1. So you cannot say these two are same state. Okay. And the places where you have both the inputs to be 0, here you are having different states. That is, comparing this A and C, you can say that is both these states A and C are having same output value, and here the present state is same for x is equal to 0. However, it is different for x is equal to 1. So here you can say that if B and D are equivalent state, then this can be equivalent. However, you can see that they are not equivalent as the output value is different in it. So now we initially had we had 7 rows. Now this is reduced to 5 rows actually, right? So we shall rewrite the table. So the present state, next state, x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, and output x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 1. So for A, this A, B and 0, 0. For B, it is C, D and 0, 0. For C, it is A, D and 0, 0. For D, it is E, D and 0, 1. For E, it is A, D and 0, 1. This is our reduced state table. Okay. So now from this table, you can draw the state diagram as, so you have state A, B. So first for input 0, your output is 0 and you are in the same state A. And for input 1, I am moving to state B and the output is 0. Next we have for input 0, I am moving to state C. The output is also 0. And for 1, I am moving to state D. So this is 1, 0. Then from state C for input 0, I am moving to state A. The output is also 0. And for 1, I am moving to state D. The output is 0. And then for state D, when input is 0, I move to state A, output is 0, and I remain in the same state When the input is 1, my output is also 1. And from state E, I am going to state A. For input 0, the output is 0. And for 1, I move to state D, output is 1. Okay, so this is what we have. So you are given with input sequence as, let us have the same thing, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. Let us consider this to be our input sequence. Okay, so with this, if for the first for this particular state diagram for this input, what is our case? So let us consider that we start from state A. Okay, ma? So when the input is 0, I am remaining in the state A as such, and the output is 0. Next, I am coming across the input 1. So I am going to state B, and the output is 0. Then I am getting input 0. So I am moving to state C, and the output is 0. Now I am in state C. So for input 1, I am going to state D, and the output is 0. Then being in state D, if the input is 0, I go to state E, and the output is 0. Being in state E, I am receiving an input of 1. So I go to state F, and the output is 1. Then again, if I am getting output input 1, I get the next state to be the same thing F, and the output is 1. Then being in F, I am getting input as 0. So the next state value is 0, and the output is 0. Then if the input is 1, I am coming back to state F, and the output is 1. Then again I am getting 0, so I move to state G, state G, and the output is 0. Now from state G, again if I am getting the output to be, input to be 0, I go to state A, and the output is 0. So next, based on what I get as input, this will be following, right? So for this particular input sequence, this is my output. So let us copy the same input sequence for this particular reduced table. So the input is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So corresponding state and the output. Okay. So here, initially, the same way if I am starting from state A. So when the input is 0, I remain in the same state A, and the output is 0. Then I am receiving an input 1. So I move to state B, and the output is 0 again. Now being in state B, I receive the input 1. So I move to state C, the output is 0. Being in state C, I receive input to be 1. So I move to state D, and the output is 0 here. And from D, if the input is 0, I am going to state E, and the output is 0. Then in state E, I am receiving an input 1. So I am going back to state D, and the output is 1. Then from state D, if I am getting input 1, I am actually remaining in the same state with output 1. So this is D, and this is 1. Then again from D, I am receiving input 0. So I go to state E and our output for that case is 0. Then from state E, again I am getting 1 as input. So I go to state D and the output is 1. Then from state D, I get input 0. So I go to state E and the output is 0. And from state E, I am getting input to be 0. So I go to state A and the output is 0. So now here, if you compare both of these output, you have the same values. The 5 zeros, 110, 100. So both the state diagram are giving us the same input output relation. However, the number of states are reduced in this. Okay. And one more thing is, even though here we have reduced the number of states, the number of flip-flops that is required is not reduced actually. Because here, if suppose you had 4 states, then it is enough if you have 2 flip-flops, right? But however, here you are having 5 states. So anyways, you need 3 flip-flops. Okay. So one thing you should remember is always by reducing the state table, we might not be able to reduce the number of flip-flops required. Okay, in some cases, we will actually be able to reduce it, but it is not always the case. That you need to have in mind. Okay, va? So that is about this state reduction. So all the information is actually given over here. The reduced state table and all. Okay, so next we shall see state assignment. So here the first time we are encountering the states defined by letter symbols, right? A, B, C, D, we have named the states. So we go for state assignment because with the letter symbol, we cannot design a circuit. So you need to know state assignment. So what the state assignment is, you define the letter symbols are given with any codes. Okay. Generally, what we do is we use the binary codes. Okay, va? In some cases, they may follow gray code. And we also have one thing called one-hot assignment. So you might come across this terminology in some other places also. One-hot assignment means, okay, first let us see one by one. So we had the states A, B, C, D, E after reduction, right? So I was mentioning that you need 3 flip-flops for this. There is no other go for us. Okay. So for that case, what we do is each of these states will be defined with a 3-bit value if we are going to use the binary or gray code. So if I am going to use 3-bit binary, the states are defined as, I can take it in the order. So 000, 001, 010, 011 and 100. So it implies the other combinations will be don't guess. That is from 101, 110 and 111 will be don't guess in this. Okay. And if I am going to use the gray code, I will be having this as 000, 001, 011, 010 and 110. The other combination of this 3-bit will be a don't care. And with one-hot assignment, what this implies is you use actually 5-bit. That is, for A, I will be defining this as 1000. For the second one, I use 0100. Third one, 00100. Fourth one, 00010. And for last one, 000. That is, you have only 1-bit value to be 1 with this one-hot assignment. Okay, all other values are 0. So that is how we define this. So with this one hot assignment, actually what happens is you will be needing 5 flip-flops, as each of the bit will be considered as the state of the corresponding flip-flop. Okay, that is what is state assignment. So with letter symbols, we can't do anything else, as we are going to design the circuit. So we define some values for those letter symbols. So generally, we will be using this binary codes only. Okay, often we will be using this binary codes as it is easier for us. But in some cases, they might use this also. Okay, well, that's what you need to have in mind. Okay, so that is about this state assignment. So this table actually shows the state assigned for this particular table. That is the reduced state table we saw, right? That is actually given with the corresponding values. So you can see that. So now we have seen how you could reduce the number of states in a circuit, and you also know how to assign values for these states. Okay, so today before winding off, I will let you know a few other things. So the first thing we have is the setup time. So actually, we will be coming across these terminologies. So this setup time is actually the time required for the device to be stable. That is the time that the input to the flip-flop device must remain stable prior to the arrival of clock edge that triggers the device. So with flip-flop, we know that we need a clock pulse, right? So the clock pulse should be, or the input given to the flip-flop should be stable before the clock arrives. Then only as soon as the clock comes, the corresponding to the input value you have in the flip-flop, you can get the output. So that is called as the setup time. Next, we have something called the hold time. So this hold time is actually the time that the inputs must be stable after the clock edge has occurred. So this means once you receive the clock edge, the input should be stable for some more time actually. Immediately once the clock edge has arrived, if the input changes, then you will have confusion with the output. So that we call it as the hold time. Okay. So if this time requirement with respect to the setup time and hold time are not met, metastability occurs. Okay, metastability occurs. So usually we will be having the value to be 0 or 1. However, with this metastability, the values will be halfway between 0 and 1. It will eventually settle down, but however, for some time you will be in an undefined state, as the voltage level will not be conforming to either logical 0 or logical 1. Okay, so this causes some problem with respect to the operation of the digital system. So always this requirement should be actually met. Okay, you should not violate the setup and hold time requirement. Otherwise, you will be getting into a condition called meta stability. And you have one more definition called clock skew. So this is actually the phase shift between the clocks, because in a digital system, you may not be having only a single component in it. So you will be having multiple components, and each may have the clock to be used for driving the circuit. So the phase shift between these clocks is called the clock skew. So this is presented in parallel to multiple synchronous sequential elements that require same timing. Okay, this we call it as the clock skew. You have to remember mainly this, the phase shift between the clocks that is given. And this metastability, we also sometimes call this state as quasi-stable state. Okay, so this is few definitions you need to know. So we shall wind off today's class with this. Okay, see you guys.